So, um, hi everyone, and I'm going to speak about XP, Kanban, and time boxing. And the word Xkanban is a word I made up to refer to the adoption of a Kanban board in an extreme programming workflow. So, during this speech, I will focus on why we adopted a Kanban board and how we use it along with time boxing and XP values and principles. But first of all, who am I? I'm a web developer at Ideato, and I've been working there for nearly 3 years now. And wait, okay. In Ideato, we think that XP values are important, and it's our goal to fulfill them. And to reach this goal, we applied from the beginning the XP principles. So we did iteration planning, involvement of the customers, release planning, everything we could find on the XP explain book. And we ended up with a structure in our company that was like this. We had two main workflows. The first one was called the mainstream projects workflow, and they were new projects and projects with a lot of activities, and they were planned 5 days in iteration of 5 days. And then we had the emergency ward that was thought as the workflow for fixing bugs and answer to emergencies without halting the development of the other projects. But with this kind of structure, we discovered that we had some problems. One of those problems was that we uh, we found that in some of our projects we were missing shared knowledge. So the developer working on a bug of a project in the emergency ward had never worked on that project before, and we were not enough for always pairing on every project. So some of us may do most of a project by himself. We have, as I said before, different workflows. And the thing was, the mainstream project were planned per week. So 5 days iteration, really clear planning. But the emergency ward turned out to be the way everything outside the mainstream projects was done. So nearly all the requests we received from our acquired customers went through the emergency ward. And then we found that we needed a way to answer to our customer requests on when we could do an activity. And for the mainstream projects, we knew that we could plan the activities for the next iteration, for the next week. For the emergency ward, we tried to apply the same flow, but it was really difficult to plan for bugs and emergencies. And then the last one, we needed to measure what we did. So we needed to measure our weekly effort. We needed to inform our customers about the schedule of their activities, and we needed to know where we were wasting effort and time. So we needed a way to keep trace of what we were doing and where we were encounter bottlenecks and where we were violating the principles of the XP. So we came up with an idea. Why shouldn't we create a unique flow to let the requests by our customers be handled as fast as possible and all of them in the same way? So we thought about this kind of structure where the customer requests were divided into different uh, sets. So the sales department was responsible for contracts and administrative stuff. The account was the person who would be listening to customer care requests. that weren't for developing software, or at least that weren't directly for developing software. And the developers were responsible of developing and planning with the customer and the account the activities for the next incoming weeks. And the way we did it was adopting at first a Kanban. We put effort in standardizing the workflows on our projects so that we could keep them all on the same Kanban. The Kanban board let us see the flow of our work, and it is divided into columns that are equals to the stages of your work. Each column can accept a limited number of activities, and the developers are forced to pull the activities out of the Kanban so that other can be started. We reached, thanks to the Kanban, the same workflow for each activity, despite the fact that it is a bug, a user story, a spike, or whatever it is. Then we address the knowledge problem, because we put some rules on the Kanban, and those rules were, first of all, you have to pick the first ticket in the to-do list, the highest priority ticket. And if you don't know the project, if you don't know the ticket, if you don't have all the information you need, you have to ask someone to help you do that ticket so you can learn from that 1 day, 2 day, maybe 2 hours of work, which is the context of the project, at least a bit of the context of the project. Then we addressed the planning and resources problem. When can we do this? We had a Kanban, so we know how much effort we put on the Kanban. So for how long we are going to be busy with the work on the Kanban. We use time boxing to keep trace of how long it takes from request of an activity to the done column of our Kanban for that activity. So we measure our lead time, and we started keep trace of everything we did. And thanks to this tracking, we could do daily planning based on what we measured. And the last part of when can we do this was the negotiation with the client. In particular, we needed a way to tune the effort on many projects at the same time. We needed a finer granularity than iterations because we had requests smaller than 5 days. I think that's usual for everyone. And through metrics and statistics on our performance, we could plan on a weekly, daily basis which work had to be done. And we negotiated with our customer on a weekly effort that doesn't necessarily had to take a full week. So we could have a more we could have more control on the number of projects we were doing at the same time in the same week, and we could decide with the management which was the effort to put on any one of them. So to sum up the problem, the last problem I left is, how can you measure what you do? And the answer is through time boxing. We use time boxing because it gave us the way to organize our time during the day, and at the same time to measure our effort on each activity. I'm showing a Pomodoro timer here, a tomato timer here, And because we use the Pomodoro technique, I don't know if you ever come across it. I think maybe yes, but it's just a timer, and it gives you with the simplest way you can imagine, a really great tool to measure what you do and how much time you spend on it. So through a Kanban board, we brought our problem to light, and it's not just through the Kanban board because it's just a tool. It was we wanted to bring our problems to light because we wanted to know where we were wasting our time, where we were bad, where we were good. So bringing the problems to light, it's really the key point here. And all the things you see, like measure lead time, try to find the bottlenecks, put a work in progress limit on your activities, and not using non-standard workflows are all issues that you can address through simple tools and through the will of resolving them. So we nearly get a successful process, but everything wasn't that beautiful. We still had problems to solve, and we found that too many things were responsibility of the person who had the rule of the account. He spoke with the clients, put tickets on the Kanban, he was planning what to do next, and sometimes he helped with contracts. So too many information on a single person. The client were still speaking with the developers, but the presence of the account was needed to plan what to do, because he was the one with the informations on the other projects that we were developing. So we thought, we already changed, why don't change again? And so we split up our team in two teams, and the account is now part of one of the team, and each of these teams has its own Kanban and its own clients. Each team has a WIP on the clients, a limit of the WIP on the clients. And once it's over for both teams, it will be time for a new team to be formed, because every one of us know that we can do a lot of those things. We can do just a bit of thing in an amount of time. And other things on the teams are that they are free to change the way they do. Yes. Okay. Maybe it's my internet connection. I don't know. I didn't. Oh, anyway, nearly done. So the last thing I was going to say is that now the sales department is just for the first contact with the customers, and then helps the other two teams to get their job done. That's it.